Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Crypto. My name's Don. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching today's stream. Of course, we have an excellent, shall we say, that's a different word, an excellent episode for you all to watch, enjoy, and take from today. There is a few upgrades to today's episode. I have a new mic, first and foremost. You might be able to see it on screen, but I also have another secret that I will release throughout today's episode, so make sure you're focused, you're tuned in, and you look out for what that upgrade might be. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is, it's just going to happen, so you need to be watching and paying attention for that. But anyway, happy Monday, it's a new week. We have I say new news, but I guess the news is still all the same. It's quite boring at the moment in crypto. We get that the prices aren't as sexy as we want them to be. However, we will continue to crack on. It's September. It could be a bit of a shaky month, but nonetheless, we will be here. We will cover the news and we will help out where we can. Now, first things first, let's look at the top 10 crypto prices as always and see just how the market is looking as of, right now. Let me just accept all cookies as always. Okay, so first things first, Bitcoin's currently sitting at 25,954. We then have Ethereum at 1,638. BNB at $214. We then have XRP at 50 cents. Cardano, 25 cents. Dogecoin at 0.06. And then Solana at $19. And finally, we have Tron at 0.07. Now, I've just noticed, look at this new coin that I've just noticed. Ton coin. Interesting. Anyway, that's the top 10 at the moment. Like I said, not much has happened the past 24 hours. There literally has been not even a percentage rise. Yep, there really hasn't. I guess Solana's at 1.8%. But yeah, the rest of the market literally has not moved. And as you can see from the right-hand side of the screen here as well, yeah, pretty much sideways. Nothing exciting is happening. However, let's get into the news because I do have some news, of course, I want to share and update you on with what's going on in crypto. So, first things first, let's start with FTX. So, FTX wallet shifts $10 million in crypto, sparking fear of token dumps to come. Now, FTX always seems to be in the news and, interestingly enough, I don't know if it's because it's going to be a dump incoming as such. I think FTX are just going through such a bit of a kind of weird time at the moment. And anyway, let me crack on and read today's news on FTX and I'll explain in more detail. So, a wallet owned by the bankrupt crypto exchange FTX has moved $10 million worth of digital assets from Solana to the Solana network to Ethereum, sparking concerns it could be the beginning of a series of token dumps amid the exchange's bankruptcy proceedings. Now, according to the data from blockchain analytics platform Arkham Intelligence, since August 31st, so 4 days ago, the wallet has transferred $6.23 million worth of Ethereum and more than $4 million in altcoins. These include $1.2 million worth of FTX token, 1.8 worth of Uniswap, 1.3 of HXRO, and then $500,000 worth of Sushi, and then some of Frontier token as well, which are all moved into another FTX wallet. So yeah, basically an FTX wallet or someone who works behind the scenes at FTX. Obviously with the blockchain, we can track this. We know who owns the wallet publicly. Don't get me wrong. Crypto is still synonymous, so if you own a crypto wallet, the whole point of it is that no one really knows the identity behind that wallet. However, when it comes to the big exchanges, the big wallets, and people who publicly post about their crypto holdings or crypto purchases or whatever it may be, there's ways for people to track down and allocate you to that exact transaction, which means that they can then find your wallet address, and that's how they trace you. There's still no kind of given way to prove that. However, like I said, it's a publicly known wallet now because FTX have had to release a lot of information, but they've also spoke about a lot of wallets in the past and people have obviously just found them and traced them. That's how we know exactly whose wallet or who owns the wallet. Now, on August 24th, FTX proposed a plan to appoint Mike Novogratz' Galaxy Digital Capital Management as the investment manager charged with overseeing the sale and management of its recorded crypto holdings. Now, that is an interesting point, I think. I may come back to that. According to the plan, the FTX estate would only be permitted to sell $100 million worth of the tokens per week. However, that limit could be raised to $200 million on an individual token basis. These limits are intended to minimise the actual impact of the token sales while simultaneously allowing FTX to make creditors whole. So I like how it can jump from 100 million to 200 million. That's just a quick $100 million jump. Anyway, in addition to the plan, the exchange also filed a separate motion to hedge its larger holdings of the Bitcoin and Ether. While the propositions set forward in the filings are not yet legally binding, the case of FTX token sales is expected to come before the Delaware Bankruptcy Court on September 13th. Now, remember, in fact, let me cover this last part, let me jump back into the FTX stuff, because as much as it might seem like old news now, it's almost a year has passed. I really want to kind of home in on the fact of how important it is with crypto exchanges and how you hold and store your crypto, but let me move on to that in just a sec. So on April 12th, FTX disclosed that it had roughly $7.3 billion worth of assets, with $4.8 billion of that, some being compromised of assets recovered as of November 2022, when all things kind of went wrong. According to the documents raised in the hearing, FTX held a total of $4.3 billion in crypto assets available for stakeholder recovery as of the marketplace on April 12th. So here's the graph there. Again, it doesn't really need to show, I don't really need to dive into it too much, but the point I wanted to make here, right, I wanted to try to dive into the importance of, well, crypto exchanges, where to hold your cryptos, and so on and so forth. Before I do that, let me just switch to scene 2. Look at that. Hopefully this is a pleasant surprise. But yes, this is another part of the upgrade to Coffee and Crypto. I now have a full screen that I can switch between. Hopefully the mic is working as well. I had a bit of an issue this morning getting that set up. However, what I wanted to cover was the importance of your crypto exchanges, whether it's FTX, Binance, SwissBorg, KuCoin, BYBIT, whoever it is that you use, and however it is that you store your crypto. I want to make a point to say that no one really knew about the FTX scandal or knew it was going to happen until it had happened. Now, it's easy to go back and see the issues that we had. So what I mean by that is hindsight's a great thing, right? So looking back, it did look pretty inevitable that something was going to happen pretty majorly with FTX because of how it worked, the people behind it, Sam Bankman-Fried, all the kind of ties that he had and his family had with loads of things in the background that we won't go into in this Coffee and Crypto episode. But the thing I'm trying to kind of home in on here is you just never know. Now, we obviously have trusted exchanges. I'm sure you have a trusted exchange. You may trust having your money or investments in a ledger or a Trezor, whatever it may be. You may prefer to have it offline, and that's completely fine. The point that, I want to try and make here is it's whatever makes you feel comfortable. At the end of the day, it's your money. It's your investment. It's your potential lifelong savings that you have invested in the crypto space. Your full kind of custody of that, so it's entirely up to you. Don't just do what people kind of are telling you to do. Now, FTX unfortunately had a lot of influencers back throughout 2021 when they really became super popular because, well, the bull run was there and they had essentially a blank check. They had unlimited money to throw at people to actually just like promote them in general, and they were able to sponsor anything they wanted to sponsor, and it was just to kind of get the name out there. But I keep saying the point I want to make, but the point I do want to make is it's literally up to you. You're in complete control. Make sure that you have done your own research in your exchange. You're happy with the exchange that you are using. I personally feel comfortable with SwissBorg, and I have done for well over 3 years, but that doesn't mean that you will. So again, I can recommend that I use, or note, should I say, that I use SwissBorg, but if you're looking to use a SwissBorg, Binance, BYBIT, whatever it may be, please read up on it, do a little bit of research, make sure you feel comfortable, and if you prefer to have your investments offline, that's entirely fine as well. Anyway, hopefully that was not as much as kind of a big rant that it had to be. Hopefully it makes sense. FTX is still lingering. People lost a lot of money from it, unfortunately, and there has been a lot of issues with other exchanges, which I won't go into in detail. But yeah, like I said, if you are looking to get an account that I use or I personally believe in, there's obviously a link in the description below to the accounts that I love and trust. Go check them out, but please do your own research before you do that. Anyway, FTX, apparently people think there's going to be a dump, but I'm not so sure. Anyway, moving on. Binance's CEO, CZ, forecasts the DeFi outgrowing CeFi in the next bull run. Now, is this going to happen? I'm not too sure. And should we be worried? Well, again, I'm not too sure either. Now, let me just refresh. I'm actually watching today's stream on my phone as well. Well, I'm trying to anyway, but it just cut off. Has it cut off for you? Drop me a comment below if the signal has dropped, because the Wi-Fi in the office is never all that good, as we know. Let me just try and get this to load up, because like I said, having a bit of a stream issue. Give me a sec here. Yeah, I think it's maybe just my phone. Anyway, I'll crack on and hopefully you can still see me. Apologies about that. But yeah, so Binance's CZ, we all know him. He is the top man at Binance. He believes that DeFi will outgrow CeFi in the next bull run. Now, that might seem pretty obvious, right? For anyone that's been in the crypto space for some time. DeFi was pretty big in 2021. It had gained a kind of mass popularity. Is that the word I'm looking for? In 2021. But let me dive into it, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the details between DeFi and CeFi. And I also personally believe that this will be the case, but let me just see what CZ, why he thinks this is as well. So, Binance's CEO, CZ, Changpeng Zhao, is that how you pronounce his name? Predicts that the decentralized finance has the potential to surpass centralized finance in the next bull run. During a September 1st live X Spaces titled CZ AMA, so Ask Me Anything, he shared his thoughts on the future of DeFi. I think that the more decentralized industry becomes, the better, he declared, adding that it may not be long before it takes over CeFi's trading volume. Now, DeFi is the future. The volume is somewhere between 5% to 10% of CeFi volumes, which is is not small. The next bull run may well take DeFi bigger than CeFi. Now remember, CeFi is centralized exchanges, so like Coinbase, for example, and even Binance, but DeFi is your kind of decentralized platforms where you are in full custody of your investments. And that's kind of where crypto kind of comes from. It is trying to become decentralized. It's trying to make you your own bank. So yeah, it makes sense that eventually it will start to take more and more kind of market share. Now, again, following the SEC's kind of nonsense against centralized exchanges like Coinbase and Binance, the median trading volume on the top 3 decentralized exchanges surged by 444% in 48 hours. At the time of the publication, the total 24-hour trading volume on these dexes was $722 million. So, just goes to show you that as soon as there's a bit of fear or a bit of a kind of issue from the SEC, then we will see the decentralized platforms really, really take off. And that's why I personally believe it's important to know how to work things like Uniswap, for example, because decentralized exchanges are super important. As much as it's very easy to use a CeFi platform, so Binance, Coinbase, for example, it is very easy. It's supposed to be. But at the same time, you're not in 100% full control of the custody of that wallet. Binance or Coinbase will look after the custody of that wallet. You have the right to that wallet because it's yours, it's your investment, but they will hold the coins technically. So if their exchange is to go down or there's to be an issue or whatever it may be, then you're kind of stuck, even though you technically own them. So yeah, anyway, decentralized exchanges are super important to learn if you don't already have them. Now, CZ further shared his perspective on the recent dismissal of the lawsuit against the decentralized protocol Uniswap. The Uniswap thing was extremely positive, extremely reasonable, logical and clear. That is very good, he declared. Now, on August 30th, so just a few days ago, a federal court dismissed a class action lawsuit against Uniswap and its CEO Foundation and venture capital backers, which was brought by plaintiffs who claimed they lost money due to scam tokens on the decentralized cryptocurrency exchange. Now, the judge, quite rightly, rejected the case because neither side could identify the scammers and emphasised that regulatory uncertainty leads to reduced investor protection. Now, this is very important. I'm going to come back to this in just a second. But to quote here, it says, they now sue the Uniswap defendants, hoping that this court might overlook the fact that the current state of the crypto regulation leaves them without recourse. Now, the point I wanted to make here, right, we're going to switch scene here for this, it gets more serious, but the point that it says here, right, I can read it. It says, the judge rejected the case because neither side could identify the scammers and emphasised that regulatory uncertainty leads to reduced investor protection. Now, the people who claimed, the plaintiffs that claimed they lost money was due to scam tokens. Now, on decentralised exchanges and in crypto in general, we go on about it quite a lot, but it's important to understand crypto in general, understand scams, understand how you can lose your money, understand what's too good to be true. Now, unfortunately, on decentralised, or fortunately, depends on how you look at it, on decentralised exchanges like Uniswap, I could literally create a token on there right now, today, and as long as I've got a good marketing campaign and put a bit of money behind it, I could roll out the next Bitcoin if I wanted to, whatever I wanted, and as long as I can get people dumb enough to invest in it, I could technically scam, I don't know how much it would be. Obviously, that's not ever an intention, but the point I'm making, again, I feel like I've said the point I'm making quite a lot in today's video, but the point that I am trying to make is that being scammed on a decentralized exchange it's very user focused, so it's very much up to you. Now, I guess the fortunate thing for scammers is there's a lot of dumb people out there, a lot of people that will chase money just because you promise them that if you send me 1 Bitcoin, I will send you 2 Bitcoins. Now, that's obviously never in our lifetime going to happen, but there's people out there that are dumb enough to fall for that trick, and then they'll go to the court and say, oh, I was scammed. Right, well, it's your fault. It's technically... Well, not technically, it's completely your fault. You weren't scammed because the scammer hacked your account, or maybe they did, but again, you would have agreed to it. That's another big thing with crypto. You agree to everything that happens. Understand how smart contracts work. Understand how the blockchain work. Understand how crypto exchanges work in general, and you will be less likely to be scammed. I promise you that. Learn more. You will be scammed less. It's as simple as that. Scamming is down to the individual or the user. If you fall for it, then that's just how the scammers work. It's a full-time job for them. It's a skill. It's an art. And you, unfortunately, are potentially just not as skilled or artistic as those scammers. But yeah, anyway, quite funny to see that the court also kind of deemed the fact that, look, we can't find who the scammer is. We can't identify them. It's crypto. It's kind of the whole thing. We can't identify who the wallet is, and you're not protected. That's another good point as well. Investing in crypto means that you're not, or the chances of you being protected if you lose your money are pretty slim. So please make sure before you invest that you do as much research as possible, because no one is coming to save you in crypto. Now, anyway, that's the kind of news from CZ. Again, I'm quite behind this as well. I've been in crypto for nearly 7 years, or probably, well, is it 7 years? Maybe it's 7 years coming up. But anyway, about 7 years anyway. And I personally, luckily, touch wood as they say, have never been scammed or fell for a scam. Maybe that's the point, or maybe I'm going to say it's the point I'm trying to make. I can't keep saying that. That's the thing that I'm trying to kind of explain. I read into things sometimes a little bit too much and decide not to invest in things. I'm definitely not dumb enough to send someone crypto in return for crypto. That just does not work. It's like someone in the street saying, give me £100 and I'll give you £200 back. But that's never going to happen. So why do you think it would happen in crypto? When it's super anonymous, it's on the blockchain, you cannot phone up your bank and get it back. If you send it, it's gone, it's never coming back. Yeah, you wouldn't give, like I said, that's maybe a good analogy. If someone asks you in the street for £100 and they'll give you £200 back for no reason whatsoever, absolutely no reason whatsoever, are you going to do it? Well, chances are you're not. So why would you do it in crypto? You get my point? Anyway, I believe DeFi will outgrow CeFi, and yeah, let's see how things go over the next 24 months. Now, interestingly here, the Bank of China. This is a bit of a tinfoil hat, I would say, situation. But anyway, Bank of China. Retailers must offer digital yuan payment option. Oh no. So, this is all to do with CBDCs, right? So, while central bank digital currencies in China go through technological and business model upgrades, the market should provide an opportunity to include it in an all-online retail payment options. According to a statement made by the director of Digital Currency Research Institute of the People's Bank of China, giving a speech at the annual China International Service Trade Fair, he expressed the desire of the digital yuan developers to see it at hand in every retail scenario. Now, according to the official Chinese CBDC, officially known as the renminbi, I don't know what that word is, don't care. It's a CBDC and that's its name. Look at that. Has undergone a major upgrades in terms of its organisational forms and business model, and now it turns to the payment tools to be upgraded. Now, he also mentioned that commercial banks, apps and such platforms as WeChat, which is essentially, WhatsApp, and Alipay, reminding them of their obligations to comply with the regulations. In the short term, they can focus on implementing the QR codes for CBDC while upgrading the payment tools in the long term. Now, the official brought up the wholesale payments issue as well. According to him, there is no need to completely change the current interbank payment and settlement systems. It would be enough to integrate the CBDC payment option into it. However, no technical details as such integration were mentioned during the speech. Now, this is mind-blowing, because we all know how China work, or we all should know how China works at this stage when it comes to, I guess, population control to an extent. But China continues to work on the blockchain-backed yet fully controlled digital infrastructure. In August, Chinese government officials unveiled a new data exchange powered by blockchain. The newly established data exchange will streamline the exchange of corporate information technology data by leveraging distributed ledger technology. Now, China are interesting, to say the least. They essentially are fully behind the kind of CBDC movement. They're fully behind the blockchain movement, but they're also behind fully in control of your money. So they want to control you as a person in China. They want to control the way you live, the social credit score, what you can see online. Basically, they just want to control their population whilst dealing with online anything, really, especially payments. So they're saying here that the official brought up the wholesale payments issue. So he said that there is no need to completely change the current interbank payment and settlement systems. However, it would be enough just to integrate the CBDC payment option. So he's saying, no, everything's fine. Payment options are fine, settlement's fine. We don't need a quicker, more streamlined, maybe a crypto asset company to come and help that, because we'll just use the CBDC. The CBDC is blockchain anyway. We all know about blockchain. It's great. We're telling you it's great, and we're telling you that's what we will use. So, yeah, what they're forgetting to say is that the CBDC is blockchain backed, but it is fully controlled by the government. So they can see exactly how you spend your money, when you spend your money. They can also allow where and when you spend that money and how much you spend of that money. So yeah, it's as we like to say on this channel, it's not looking good, bruv. China's CBDCs are a real thing. They will get rolled out across the globe. And look, don't get me wrong, I've mentioned them many times on this channel. I'm not a huge fan of CBDCs. I'm just a fan of, I guess, a digital online one payment method to an extent. And plus, yeah, Ripple are obviously helping that as well. So another reason why I like them. But I also don't want one, obviously. But some things you just can't control. CBDCs are one of those things. They are coming, unfortunately. So it's more about just getting to know how they work and how you can get around them, or at least use them to your advantage, rather than hating on them and rather than thinking that they're the worst and chatting about them. Look, they're coming. Whether you like it or not, we have no control, unfortunately. But anyway, moving back on to the last piece of news for today. Interestingly, the London Stock Exchange is to create a traditional assets trading platform on blockchain. So, the London Stock Exchange Group reportedly plans to create a blockchain-based platform offering traditional financial assets. According to the report in the Financial Times, the company has been looking into the potential of a blockchain-based trading venue for a year. LSE's group's head of capital markets, Murray Roos, said that the company's effort in looking into blockchain had reached a point where it decided to move its plans forward. Roos also clarified that it will not be building anything around cryptocurrencies. However, the company will use blockchain technology to enhance the efficiency of holding, buying and selling traditional assets. Now, I believe that this is a front. I believe that blockchain is the gateway, of course, to then allowing cryptos to be traded on the London Stock Exchange. England or the UK, the London Stock Exchange, whatever you want to kind of name it, is trying or are actively trying to become a UK or global hub for crypto. So this is, I believe, another stage of their plan to inevitably start to allow cryptos trading in the UK, potentially, after some regulatory clarity that will be coming in a few years. Now, according to Roos, their idea is to use digital technology to create the process that is slicker, smoother and cheaper, and also more transparent for traditional assets. Interesting. Now, the LSE Group executive also added that they will have it regulated. So again, this is a point here. Until there is crypto regulation, they of course will not allow it. However, they will push for regulation after they realise the benefits that they can get from it. Now, Roos also mentioned that the LSE Group waited until investors were ready and the public blockchain technology was good enough before proceedings with the project. Blockchain has always been the same, but anyway, if the plans come into fruition, Roos claimed that the LSE Group would be the first major global stock exchange that will be offering an end-to-end blockchain-powered ecosystem to investors. Now, meanwhile, other traditional financial infrastructures have started to warm up to the idea of integrating blockchain technology into their business. Now, on August 31st, the bank messaging network Swift shared a report on how it can connect the blockchains to solve the problems of interoperability between various blockchain networks. Apart from the financial infrastructures, an airline carrier has also started to integrate blockchain-based technologies. Lufthansa Airlines launched a non-fungible token loyalty program on the Polygon network. NFT holders will have the chance to gain rewards such as lounge access and flight upgrades. Now, bear in mind, I'm pretty sure they weren't selling images of airplanes for millions of dollars as part of the NFT kind of platform or NFT loyalty reward program. Remember, NFT technology is a lot more advanced than pictures of monkeys or whatever it may be that we've seen in 2021. We strongly believe that NFT the future of anything digital, anything secure, whether that's concert tickets, this loyalty program, for example, for airlines will be using blockchain technology, which is non-fungible token technology. So yeah, Go read up on NFTs in a little bit more detail, avoid the images stuff, and look into the actual underlying asset itself. But yeah, anyway, interestingly enough, the London Stock Exchange is potentially planning to move forward in using blockchain. Now, the fact that they've come out with this news, I think that it's already started months ago. They're now bringing this news to the public eye. But yeah, anyway, we'll see where it goes. Again, I think personally it is inevitable. Lastly, I want to just finish up on this tweet. Again, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but I do like to see quite detailed tweets with images attached like this. Let me kind of quickly run through it and then we will finish up for today's video. Now, the market bottom indicator tells us clearly that the Bitcoin bottom is in the past, apparently. When the green light shuts off, the bottom time is over. We are now 6 grey candles deep, putting us in time when the Bitcoin takes a small pause. So many people seem to be foretelling of another major black swan to come. Maybe they forget how rare those are, and also that they can't be predicted by definition. The 2020 black swan was the only one Bitcoin has ever seen. The people were worried about the macro were the same ones that missed buying it at $16.5 thousand at the start of this year. Bitcoin is on schedule for a mid-cycle lull, not a return to the bottom. Now, if this indicator remains on track, late 2025 is the time to watch for the cycle top. Now, let me make this larger for you and show you it. Okay, there we go. So, as we're kind of mentioning then, the grey bars, so 6 grey bars apparently is what happens when we see a bit of a lull in the market. Grey bars, bit of a lull. Grey bars, potentially a bit of a lull in the market. And 30 bars, or there or thereabouts, mean, or months, shall we say. So, yeah, look, again, who knows? Interestingly, I like this, like I said, because it is quite a detailed image, quite a detailed breakdown on the plans, potential plans that Bitcoin may have in the market over the next, 12 to 24 months. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think it will stick to this graph? Do you think that we are going to return and see $12,000, for example, $10,000, for example, before we really start to kick off early next year? Again, my personal opinion, I'll tell you that in tomorrow's video. I almost messed up the whole part what I was trying to say there. But yeah, I will tell you what I think in tomorrow's video, so please make sure you stay tuned for that. However, let me know what you think so that I can look over the comments and kind of get back to you, or some of you, in tomorrow's video. But yeah, that's all for today. I wanted to kind of show you that last part of news. If there's anything else you do need from us, of course, we do have on screen Certified Crypto, our Discord community that I would love for you to join and jump on board the conversation after today's video. Other than that, that's all I have to share with you for today's episode of Coffee and Crypto. Thank you so much. If you made it to the end of today's video, it was almost 35 minutes, so I do appreciate you sticking around and sticking with me. Please drop me a comment. What do you think of the new mic? Do I need to make any edits? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Let me know. And what do you think of this new scene that you can see in front of you? And yeah, hopefully you enjoy exactly what is going on. I also have a new camera as well, so hopefully you can tell the difference between the old one and the new one. But like I said, anything else that you need from myself or anyone on the team, click in the link below. You'll get the link for CC Pro from from the description, as well as any account that we use. My personal opinion is SwissBorg is my main exchange. Go click the link below and you can read a little bit more in detail to why people choose that application, and you can make the decision for yourself. Is it for you? Is it not for you? Anyway, I will see you tomorrow for another episode of Coffee and Crypto. I hope you have a great day, a great evening, whatever time it is that you're watching this. I will see you all very, very soon. See ya.